Hey guys, it's me, Mrs. Mills, and the whole point of this video is to help you out with multiplying and dividing scientific notation. So I'm going to take you step by step on how to do both of them. I'm going to do 3 examples of each. I hope this video helps. I hope y'all watch it. And this video is not going to help with any particular worksheet, but I did make another video that does actually help you with the other worksheet by doing some examples directly from that. But I do recommend watching this video after you do the Google Form notes page just to show you examples on what you just wrote your notes about. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so let's talk about multiplying scientific notation first. So let's say you have this is a 7. Let's say you have 7 times 10 to the third power, and you want to multiply that by 6 times 10 to the sixth power. All right, so this is all you have to do. All you have to do is group them together. So you group the first part multiplied by the first part, and then you group the second part multiplied by the second part. All right, so let's do that real quick. So let's rewrite this. Let's rewrite it as 7 times 6. And then we can rewrite it by 10 to the third power multiplied by 10 to the sixth power. Okay? Once we group them, it makes it a lot easier. Then it turns into 7 times 6, which is going to be 42. And then we're going to multiply that by 10 to the third power multiplied by 10 to the sixth power. Well, guys, if you remember our work from a couple of weeks ago, I told you exactly what you're supposed to do when you see multiplication with exponents when they have the same base. All you have to do is add the exponents. Okay? So this turns into 10. The exponent is going to be 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. And you're almost done. Guys, the decimal for this is going to be at the end of the number. If you remember from last week when we talked about scientific notation, your first number does have to be between 1 and 10. 42 is bigger than 10, so you do have to rewrite it to be in proper scientific notation. To do that, all you have to do is move this decimal to the left one time. When you move it to the left, that's going to be a plus 1. So that'll be a plus 1 for this exponent. So the answer turns into 4 and 2/10 times 10. 9 plus 1 is 10, so it would be to the 10th power. And you're done. Now it's in proper scientific notation, so you are finito. So again, all you have to do is group the first part, group the second part. The first time you would just multiply as usual. In the second part, you use what you remember from our laws of exponents from a couple of weeks ago, and you add the exponents and don't do anything to the bases. Whenever you get an answer, again, just be careful. You have to make sure it is in proper scientific notation. And if it's not, again, all you have to do is move that decimal. If you move that decimal, you have to change that exponent as well. Let's do a few more examples. Let's say you have, no, I don't like that. Let's say you have 5 and 2/10 times 10 to the 0th power. And you want to multiply that by 1 and 8/10 times 10 to the 6th power. Again, all you have to do is group them. Let's group the first part. We have 5 and 2/10, and we want to multiply that by 1 and 8/10. And then we group the second part. So we have 10 to the 0th power, which is 1, by the way, if you didn't know, times 10 to the 6th power. And then we just go ahead and multiply as usual. If you don't want to do all the fancy work that comes with multiplying decimal, you can always use my fancy Smansheet calculator that I gave you, our little Desmos calculator we have here. Let me make this real quick. And you can put in 5 and 2/10 multiplied by 1 and 8/10, and it'll give you that answer right there. This is going to be 9 and 36/100. Then you can go back to our work right over here. And we can just, again, add these exponents because the bases are the same. They're both 10. So we can just add the exponents. 6 plus 0 is going to be 6, so it would be 10 to the 6th power. This is in proper scientific notation because this first number is between 1 and 10. It's very close to 10, but it is still between those two numbers. And therefore, that is your answer. And I'm going to do one more example of this, and then I'll move on to division. So again, let's say you have, I don't know, 2 and 5/10. You want to multiply that by 10 to the first power. And then you have 3 and 2/10, and you want to multiply that by 10 to the negative second power. That's a really ugly 2. That didn't really help, but I hope you know that that second exponent is a 2. Again, all you have to do is group the first part and then group the second part. So let's do 2 and 2 to the 2 and 5/10, geez, times 3 and 2/10. And then we can group the second part, which is 10 to the first power, and we're going to multiply that by 10 to the negative second power. Again, you can go back to your calculator and go ahead and just do this. We have 2 and 5/10 multiplied by 3 and 2/10. That's going to be 8, so that's going to be our first part. And then again, you just have to add these exponents. 1 plus negative 2. 1 plus negative 2 will give us an exponent of negative 1. Guys, this is improper scientific notation because 8 is in between 1 and 10, and therefore this is your answer. Guys, if you have any questions about multiplying scientific notation, remember to contact me and I will make sure to make a new video if I have to, or I'll try to help you out in any way that I can. But let's get into dividing in scientific notation. It's very similar to this, except of course we're going to divide. So let's do some examples. Let's say you have 6 and 9/10. You want to multiply that by 10 to the fourth power, and then you want to divide that by 3 times 10 to the fifth power. All right, so again, you just want to group the first part and you want to group the second part. So you want to take the first part, so we want to do 6 and 9/10. We want to divide that by 3. And then we're going to multiply that by 10 to the fourth power, and we want to divide that by 10 to the fifth power. So again, we just want to combine them. And then we just do the same thing we just did. We're just going to divide that first part as we usually would. And then the second part, this part right here, again, if you remember what we did a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how you divide exponents when they have the same base. Again, they both have a base of 10, so all you have to do is subtract the numerator exponent, so this exponent, and subtract it by the second exponent. Okay? So let's go to our handy dandy Desmos calculator and put in 6 and 9/10 divided by 3. Our answer is going to be 2 and 3/10. So let's go back to our calculator, or to my iPad, and now we have 4 minus 5, so our exponent is going to be the negative 1. This is improper scientific notation, and therefore you are finished. Let's do 2 more examples real quick. All right, so let's say you have 1 and 24 hundredths times 10 to the first power, and you want to divide that bad boy by 4 times 10 to the negative second power. Again, we just have to group them. So this would turn into 1 and 24 hundredths divided by 4, multiplied by 10 to the first power divided by 10 to the negative second power. Again, you can just go back to your calculator and figure out what is 1 and 24 hundredths divided by 4. Well, it's going to be 0.31. Notice this will not be in proper scientific notation, so we will have to change the answer. And then we're going to multiply that by 1. We'll have a 10 here. Again, we just have to subtract the numerator exponent by the denominator exponent. 1 minus negative 2 is the same as 3, because 1 minus negative 2, 2 negatives make a positive, so that would be the same as 1 plus 2, so that would be a 3. But we do want to change this into proper scientific form because 31 hundredths is smaller than 1. So we do have to move the decimal to the right one time. If we move it to the right, again, we are subtracting. So we do have to subtract this by 1. So the answer turns into 3 and 1/10 times 10. Again, 3 minus 1 is going to be an exponent of 2. This is now in proper scientific notation, and therefore it is our answer. I'm going to do one more example, and I promise to leave y'all alone. Let's say we have 4 times 10 to the 6th power, and we want to divide that by 2 times 10 to the third power. Again, we group the first part and the second part. We're going to have 4 divided by 2, and then we're going to multiply that by 10 to the third power. Oops, no. 10 to the sixth power over 10 to the third power. 4 divided by 2 is going to leave us with 2. 2 is in between 1 and 10, so you know you're pretty much going to be done after this part. Again, we're going to subtract the numerator exponent by the denominator exponent, so our answer will be 10. 6 minus 3 is going to leave us with 3. Since this is in proper scientific notation, that is going to be our answer. Guys, if you have any questions, remember to contact me. I hope this video helps. Y'all have a great day. Remember, it's a beautiful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.